Well, it's it's Gavin Games. Welcome, my delicious, delightful delinquents, to Gavin and Games for the 9th of December. It is very nice to have you here. I appreciate you accepting the invitation to my cozy cabin in Carmel, California. This is a show all about video games. Who knew? You know what somebody said to me in a comment the other day? They said, Jaffe, I've never seen you laugh genuinely. You do your fake laugh, like I just did, but you never really laugh. Baby, you have not been on this stream that long if you haven't seen me crack the fuck up, especially when I'm high. But, be funny. I guess my response to you or my answer to you would be funny. That would make me laugh. Yeah. But anyway, welcome to the show. We're going to talk about Grand Theft Auto, paring down some of the offensive material, possibly. We're going to talk about a couple of Game Awards stories that are dropping. Oh, I want to let you know a couple things at the top of the show. Here is what's happening for the Game Awards coming up. I think, is it tomorrow? Wait a minute. It's the 10th or 11th. Anyway, it's coming up tomorrow or the next day. Might be tomorrow. Jesus Christ, man. Anyway, here's what we're doing. I was going to do a stream with Good Sir Gene Park. He's doing his own thing with the Washington Post, doing some blog thing. So here's what it's going to be at this point. I will be doing the Game Awards in Discord. If you are a member, and you are a member at the Cult of Calypso or God of War or a mod or a Diet Soda Soldier, the room will be open to you. I'll probably record it. Maybe I'll stream it. Maybe I'll post it later. But it's more of kind of like a members-only hangout and watch the awards together, get some food, talk over it. So if you don't like what someone's saying, just mute them. And so it's going to be much more of a casual. I will be smoking some dope. And it should be fun. So that'll be happening because we did it with Gene last year and Gaz last year. And I figured this year we would just do kind of a cozy, quiet Christmas at home. Huh? That's the plan anyway. So I think, is it tomorrow or the next day? It's coming up. Might be tomorrow, but we'll be talking a little bit about that. We'll be going into that as well. I want to tell you two things. Taylor Swift, right at the top of the show, I saw a news story. It's not really video game related, but shut up. She's my girlfriend. I guess the Eras tour that ended last evening, they pulled in $2 billion and she gave away 10% in bonuses to her crew and her dancers and the drivers. Each truck driver got $100,000 goddamn dollars. Think about that. So you can bitch about Taylor all you want. She doesn't make real music. Fuck you. She makes great music. If you like her cup of tea, I like pop music, and she's real generous with her ducats. So that's pretty fucking good. Also, I want to let you know that the Google folks, and we'll talk about this on tomorrow's Jaffe stream, but I did want to read you just a headline to whet your appetite. The Google folks announced a couple of minutes ago, they said, Google said its quantum computer needed less. I want you to really listen to this. I want you to really listen to this. Their quantum computer needed less than 5 minutes to perform a mathematical calculation that one of the world's most powerful supercomputers could not compute in 10 septillion years, a length of time that exceeds the age of the known universe. It took them 5 minutes to do what no computer has ever been able to do. This is quantum computing, okay? So I just want to say that when you guys come at me and other people about AI and the holodeck and the future of video games and stuff, or streaming even, like, there's no way the physics can allow for acceptable streaming, you say. Shut up, is what I say. 5 minutes for a computer, a quantum computer, to do what a normal computer couldn't do. The strongest computer in the world would take it longer than the time the universe has existed as far as we know. So shut up. Can it run Doom? Yes, but it cannot run Crysis 3 yet, but soon. Hell, maybe it'll be the way we recognize we are in a simulation. It's like, shit, we can make simulations all fucking day long. Anyway, that's good news. I love tech stories like that. Here's a story in tech I don't really like. I know, Brad. Everybody wants to be a contrarian. What's that about? Brad says, someone who knows what the fuck he's talking about explained that the problem with this quantum computing stuff is it only works for extremely specific tasks, says Brad. Yeah, Brad, I get it. Maybe you can't, play games on it yet. Just shh. Let people make things. Things will grow and change, and it's something to be excited about. Something to be excited about. Damn. Good God Almighty. United Healthcare CEO killer. You know what his connection is to the video games? There is a connection. He was kind of sort of a game developer. United Healthcare CEO killer, at least the guy they've pulled in and said, you're the guy who did it. Reportedly worked on Civilization 6 at Firaxis. It says, I don't know, as long as he was a computer, he had a engineering degree from University of Pennsylvania, fixed over 300 UI bugs using Lua language, Jira software is how you say it, and Perfor's version control system, and worked with 10-person Scrum team in agile environment. Also killed a man. But that's absolutely accurate. At least that's what it says on his LinkedIn page. So, so he's clearly a gamer. He likes games. He makes games. And now he's in jail for killing the United Healthcare CEO. To some people, he's a hero. He's a folk hero. And for other people, he's just a goddamn murdering son of a bitch. Your mileage will vary, but, there you go. He should have been a YouTuber to let out his anxiety. He didn't have anxiety. He was pissed. He was pissed, man. I think resistance to AI, says Johnny Hollins, is that people know it will take away a lot of jobs, and we don't have the current government in place to remedy the problem, so people hate on it. I think that's a lot of truth. But I also think that we should be smart enough by now to recognize that, maybe, I don't know, man, maybe it started when I meditated. Back when I was in my early 20s. I'm not saying I'm I meditate rarely, nowhere near as much as I should, but there's a lot of self-reflection I find that people don't really do about things. Like the idea that, you can worry about losing a job to AI, but you can also celebrate how cool AI is and what it may offer to people that want to make video games, for example. The McDonald's says mass-produced found him is getting review bombed. Yeah, I guess what happened was there was an employee at a McDonald's who saw him. I mean, this guy wanted to get caught, though. I saw somebody tweet about this. I think it was a couple people, but I mean, the gist of it was, it's like at the end, he was just like, he's sitting out in the open at McDonald's. He let his face be captured on film. He wasn't in hiding. I think he was ready to just kind of go, I'm here, come get me, because you know what? Fuck you. Yeah, I did it. But I don't really know. All his friends said he was going crazy after some back surgery that he had to have. Yeah, if you go roadkill to his, I think it's his Twitter or Wikipedia or one of his profiles, one of his banners has a Pokemon character. And then in the middle, there's an X-ray that shows like these pins put into the back of a neck, which I assume is his. Dark Shadowy Play says the volume is too low. All right, well, buddy, thank you for being a member for 6 months. I appreciate that. Let me... All right. Well, tell me if that's any better. Tell me if that's any better. Okay. No. RPG says I often fall asleep on the toilet. Is that meditation? It really isn't. It isn't. Ace says I often masturbate and wonder about the universe afterwards. Is that meditation? Nope. Not at all. Roadkill says eventually AI and robotics will destroy the poor. I mean, you walk into a grocery store, there's already people working. It's all self-checkout. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it'll destroy the poor, but I think it's going to change the world. All of it will. It already has, and it will continue to do so. Jaffe says, TJM, which Marvel Rivals character looks the best? Well, let's talk about Marvel Rivals a little bit. This game came out Friday. Whoops. That's not what I wanted to show you. This game came out Friday. I played the beta a bunch. I played it a little bit this weekend, played some of it today. It's sitting at a 72 on Metacritic, 7.5 user score. I really like it, but I don't know if I'm in it for the long haul. And I don't think that has anything specifically to do with Marvel Rivals, because I think it's really good and well made and it looks cool and the characters look great. But I just find it slow, and I understand that that's the subgenre, but like when I die as the Punisher, because that's who I play, because he's the easiest one to play right now. When I die as the Punisher, then I have to walk back to where the battle is, and it's so slow, and it's so slow going. And again, I get it. I absolutely get it. I get that the point of it is you don't want to die because there's a bit of a punishment there when you die, and you have to kind of go back. And people love that subgenre of shooters. I just think it might be a little too slow for me. So now that it's out, it feels good when you're in the thick of battle and you're shooting people and killing people and all that shit. I think it feels really, really good. I love the look of it. I don't like the levels very much conceptually. It's really weird. There's no Marvel Universe levels. There are all these other than like even, was it Asgard? Even, maybe there's that in there, but it's like everything's all weird. There's no like downtown or Daily Bugle or none of the kind of traditional Marvel locations. But I mean, people are loving it. I think that's great. But for me, it's, I don't know how often I'll play it. Eddie T says, I like Overwatch, but Marvel Rivals has things I hate in Overwatch amplified to an extreme, so I'll never try it. Like what? Mike Adams says, from the start, it makes it easy to get back. I don't know about you. Depends on what character you're playing. But when you're playing a walking character and the only thing he has to speed up his motion is he's got a grapple or a zip line that he can attach, it helps, but it's not infinite. You have to wait for it to recharge, so you can kind of use it once before you ultimately make it to the battle. Marvel Rivals gets old quick for me, says Roadkill. Yeah, I'm very curious how long it'll sustain. There's a lot of area of attack effects and too much mobility, says Eddie T. That's what he doesn't like. The environments look like it's generated with AI, you mean? Yeah, it's not that they don't look nice. It's like, there's like, I get Asgard. Okay, that makes sense. But there's like this Neo Tokyo level that's like, well, it's almost like they pulled it from another game. It's like, that game we were working on, the Big Hero 6 game? Get that and put it in here. We'll just call it, we'll make up some bullshit. I don't really quite understand where these locations are. But the other issue is the skill ceiling is really low. It doesn't feel like you're making progress, Cube. Do you mean leveling up your character, or do you mean the actual getting better at playing? Because I don't think you level up power, right? You just level up for cosmetic items. A says games like this are ruining the game industry. I don't know if I agree with that. People seem to love them. They're making lots of money, making lots of people happy. But I'm so into the Indiana Jones game right now, I don't really care. And after that, I'm going to go back to Dragon Age. So I'm good. Why am I looking at Metacritic with 5 reviews? Because it's the only thing I've got. What else? Where do you want to look? I'll look at whatever you want. I'm not knocking the game. I think IGN just gave it a 9. I don't know if that's included in here or not. Let's see. It's clearly, if you like this kind of game, it's really, really good. In fact, IGN, who did ultimately give it a 9, they said, so far I'm having enough fun with it to be interested in more. It's the exact Overwatch imitator that I thought it would be. It's glossy, feels good to play without ever displaying the sort of ambition something like Valve's Deadlock is bringing to the hero shooter come MOBA party. Oh, maybe I'm wrong, they didn't give it a 9, but I'm almost certain they gave it a 9. Let's check. IGN Marvel Rivals. I thought they gave it a 9 today. An 8. They gave it an 8. So, okay. Groot is very slow, says Sean, but he's good at defense. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he puts up these great walls of tree bark or something. Okay. Yeah, Matthew says nothing is ruining the game industry. I mean, I agree. I saw I don't know where it was. It might have been on Twitter. Might have been IGN asking. It's like, what do you think of the state of the game industry? There's this total narrative that games are, not good right now. I don't know what people are thinking. I don't know what they're talking about. Cyberpunk 2077, unexpected update 2.2. Now, it sounds like these are not just going to be some bug fixes. This is being revealed tomorrow in a stream on CD Projekt Red's Twitch channel and their brand new YouTube channel. And they're not telling you what's going to be there. They're like, you got to show up tomorrow It'll be 8 a.m. California time, San Diego time. I'll be watching it. I need to go back. When I get some of these games off my plate, this is the one I'm going back to. I've already played about 12 hours of it and loved it. And then I just kind of got busy and I'm like, I want to go back and start a brand new character and do it again. But I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, it's interesting because it's like, they're saying it's probably not going to have PS5 Pro support. It will or include a new Game Plus mode, but will introduce new features. And the fact that they're kind of pumping it up and promoting it suggests that it's not just going to be, we fix some bugs and we fix some weird lighting. It's going to be actually some kind of real serious update. I don't know what it's going to have, but I'm very curious. I don't know if people are making predictions or anyone who's actually finished it would go like, oh yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be this or a different kind of weapon. I don't think they're going to do something major like add a new character. You know how you can play, what's her name, K or something, or V, I forget, I think it's K. And you can either start out as like a street rat or a corporate stooge or whatever the other one is. Maybe they've added, I don't know. I'm just very, very curious. I'm very, very curious. PK, we will be talking about Beyond Good and Evil 2 in just a couple of minutes. Absolutely. So we'll see. We'll see. If you guys have any predictions of what is going to be there, please let me know. It's another big update. Tomorrow we'll hear about it. And the update is actually coming tomorrow as well. Now I kind of want to know. I want to go back and play this thing. This was one of the most immersive video games I have ever played. Matthew says I might have to give it a try. I haven't played since before Phantom Liberty. Right, nor have I. But yeah, this game was so fucking immersive and it was so interesting and fun that, and that was before their big updates, and that was before the Idris Elba DLC with Phantom Liberty and all that stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. You agree with Bukaki? Make sure you what is Bukaki saying? Who the fuck knows anymore? What do you agree with when it comes to agreeing with Bukaki Da Vinci's Demons? But no, I think games are great right now, man. I think they're really, really good. And in fact, I'm going to show you. Oh my God, there's a game that did come out today that I will be playing it very soon on stream. I don't know if I'll be playing it tonight. I'll show you the trailer in a little bit. It dropped today. It's an indie game that's been one of the very best demos I played all year. And the game is actually out today. It'll cost you $14 on Steam. And it's very, very cool. Prince Green, as it relates to Cyberpunk, says, I never played it all. I never played it at all. I only played it once for 5 to 10 minutes. I've waited 4 years to play it. Good. Well, you're coming in fresh. It's really good. It was really good when I played it like 18 months ago. So I'm sure it's going to be amazing now. Jaffe, any thoughts on the Soul Reaver remasters coming out tomorrow? Do you think it has the potential as a big IP franchise if they do a remake or sequel? I think, honestly, no, I don't. But I honestly also, I was never a huge fan of that series. So I think if tomorrow it comes out and lots of people show up and it's like, holy shit, whoever owns the IP, which I think is Embracer still, and they go, oh my God, people love this fucking thing. Sweet. Let's really seriously dig in on a sequel or a remake or whatever. I think that would be great because I know you guys love it. A lot of people love it. Excuse me. Jonathan Hollow says, do you think game studios should focus on more mainstream types of games? We have no AAA secret agent games or a highly polished heist, fast, and furious style game. I like Final Fantasy, but it's niche. I see what you mean. You mean conceptually. Yeah, I would love kind of a Fast and the Furious, not licensed game necessarily, but something that's more like a video game version of a Michael Bay summer blockbuster action movie that isn't sci-fi and fantasy, but is just kind of like more of a linear Grand Theft Auto style, cops and robbers and assassins and all that shit. Yeah, I think that would be great. I mean, we are getting a James Bond pretty soon, open world James Bond from the guys who did Hitman, so that'll scratch that itch. But yeah, absolutely. I would love to see more of that stuff for sure. Ace said he played 2 hours of Cyberpunk and was bored. The only thing I'll tell you about it is you have to get your head into, you don't have to, but for me, I had to get my head into going, I want to role play this. Like I had to make a conscious effort to go, I'm going to listen to the characters. I'm going to try to immerse myself in the world. Even though, the game should do that without me making a conscious effort, ideally. But when I did that, I really did settle in and I really, really enjoyed just being in that world. It was awesome. Fuzznet says it was one of the best gaming experiences I've had in a long time. I'm jealous of people that haven't played the fully updated versions. Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it. Okay. I was going to say, isn't that what GTA and Hitman are for? Hitman, yes, Jonathan, talking about who was it? The guy who wants the Fast and the Furious game. But Hitman will do your assassin stuff. But I definitely think that GTA, because it's so open and it's so sandboxy, I'd like something a little bit more contained. You know, before I totally walked away from AAA, I was at DICE 2012, and I was gearing up to pitch a AAA game that I think I've talked about this briefly, but it was going to be like a cross between Fast and the Furious, like very, lots of style and cool cars and, just look sleek. And it was meant to look like a Michael Bay, like the cinematography was going to look just like it was just gorgeous. Fucking everything was shot at sunset and the lights coming off the skyscrapers in downtown Miami and shit. But you played a secret agent who was a vampire. And I just thought that was going to be such a cool AAA character that you could have all these cool powers and then take him on missions and shit. But then I just kind of was like, AAA, man, it's hard to get that money anymore. Okay. Let's move on. But this is tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to be streaming it, but I will be up early watching it. Maybe if I'm up and people are on the Discord, I will play it over there. Listen to this, the 10 worst games of 2024, according to Metacritic. So this is not, Polygon or IGN. This is based on an aggregate score. This is what they're saying the worst games are of the year. Let's take a look. Starting, I guess they're going number 10, Skirritual. This appears to be another attempt at a small studios making a Call of Duty zombies-like wave-based shooter. But critics didn't appreciate the game's lackluster combat and bad matchmaking, so fuck them. Oddly, the game's Steam reviews are mostly positive, so perhaps the devs have improved things since launch. Anybody played this? Anybody played this fucking game? It looks, pretty typical. Been there, done that. But maybe it's gotten better. Who knows over the time. What do we got here? We got Die by the Blade. I don't even know what the fuck. What do you mean? I love lists. Leave me alone with the list. Jaffe, you should make a list on the stream or something. What do you mean a list? Should I skip this? Do you guys not like lists? I'll skip it. If you don't want to know what the worst reviewed games of the year are, we can move on. But until I hear that from the chat, I will continue. Idiots. This game is described as a 1v1 samurai fighting game. It's called Die by the Blade, a.k.a. Fuck You, Bukkake. According to reviews, that's all it really offers. Many reviews complain about the lack of content and bad camera work. One reviewer suggested it felt like an early access game sold as a full product. Okay. Number 8, worst game of the year. Funko Fusion. That's interesting. I knew it was just like, kind of landed, nobody cared. I didn't know it got bad reviews. Funko Fusion could have been something fun, they said. A wacky, wonderful adventure mixing together different franchises and worlds. Instead, it's a boring, annoying, barely functional third-person action game starring ugly Funko Pops solving bad puzzles and fighting the same 10 enemies over and over and over and over again with guns and laser pistols. Don't play this game. Save your money. Buy some pizza. Watch one of the movies included in this collection instead. It will be much more enjoyable, and you won't have to restart the movie fucking 5 times to reach the end. Jesus. Fuck. Bukkake says, no, baby. Come on now. Papa Bukkake is not knocking the list. Here's what I'm saying. You should make a list with chat, You could pick a topic and then discuss why you're picking whatever you pick. What the fuck are you talking about? Wayne says, I didn't even know there was a Funko game. Yeah. No, I know. I hear you. Well, this wasn't... Okay, Silent Hill, The Short Message. I didn't think it was a very good game. I was bored of it. I couldn't finish it. It had a moment that was kind of cool about you could flip the camera and see what was chasing you. I kind of dug that. But it's wild in 2024. One of the best games was Silent Hill 2 Remake. Meanwhile, in the same 12 months, Konami, the fuckers, released Silent Hill Short Message. First-person horror game that won very good and which people likely forgot about within weeks of playing it. Try minutes. Minutes. And at least it was free and short. That's what she said about. I don't even know what you're writing, Bukaki. He says, I'm giving you gold and I get nothing here. I don't understand your English, maybe is what, I really don't know what you're suggesting. Eddie says, I thought it looked like a harmless game. Yeah, I mean, these are just poorly reviewed. I don't fucking know. It certainly was harmless, but it was also forgettable. Test Drive Unlimited launch trailer. The Test Drive Unlimited was awesome. The original, and in so many ways, the predecessor to Forza Horizon's big open worlds. The new one, subtitled Solar Crown, on the other hand, is a buggy disaster that players don't enjoy and which isn't even playable for a few days at launch due to server problems. It also had 3 different release dates based on how much you paid. Bleh. So they didn't like that one. Number 5, Ninja Turtles Wrath of the Mutants. Ninja Turtle is a fantastic movie with one of my favorite fight scenes. The game is a quick and bare-bones port of the 2017 arcade game that has a title that sort of sounds like the movie. It's just a bland cash grab. So they did not like this. It did not review well on Metacritic. Okay. Number 4 is Namada. Horror game was made by one person, so credit. They shipped a mostly working game. That's not easy, but it's not very good with poor level design, bad enemy AI, and not many scares. Never even heard of it. They already brought it back. Mutant Mo says, cool, they're bringing Test Drive back. Yeah, they already brought it back and just came and went, man. I've never heard of this one, though. Kind of a cool title, though. All right. Taxi Life, a city driving sim. Jesus, what are these games? This is a very pretty game that lets you drive around Barcelona as a taxi driver. Sadly, it's not much fun. Offers little depth, and there are much better transportation sims out there. Also, as a crazy taxi fan, this game lacks the Offspring music and big jumps. Boo. Yeah, this looks horrible. Why would I want to play as a Uber driver when there's no... Like, this is an actual sim. I mean, I guess. You can simulate... Oh, Jesus. Now it's gotten fun. Yeah, I have no interest in this, but I wish they would put the... I wish they would list out the Metacritic score. Would be great. That would be fantastical. Hang on. To see what it got, but I did play Scorn Ace. I didn't care for it. I thought it was really pretty and really boring. Number 2, Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports. Sounds great. The good Looney Tune characters, funny and charming. Bad thing is the game's terrible. Co-op sports game plays poorly, has 4 sports only, and looks like it fell out of 2015. Avoid and watch some clips of Bug and Daffy instead. Hey, look, it was published by Game Mill. Game Mill, they do a lot of licensed crap. They're the modern-day Sony ImageSoft or Acclaim or THQ, I would say. I mean, I like this idea, but, they don't seem to really... They're not very good at creating the video games. They always have some interesting ideas. Both their Karate Kid games were pretty interesting, but they weren't very good. They were not very good. Here we go. This is the number 1 worst reviewed game of 2024. Let me take it off screen here. I want to see if you guys can guess what it is. I have no idea what they're going to show me. Here we go. Oh, I don't think you'll guess because I don't know what the fuck this is. But here you go. If you Google it, it's called Jujutsu Kaisen Curse Clash. You'll find a lot of people saying it's the worst anime game released in years and bragging about how they refunded it quickly. Others are warning people not to buy it. I'll quote one negative Steam review. Roblox JJK games are more worthy of your time. Well, now I want to see what the review is. Oh, it got 44. It got a 44. Jesus Christ, man. There you go. No, the top games, though, I think we're not going to go through all those, but let's see what the Metacritic top video games 2024. I want the good ones, baby. Metacritic top. All right. Here's what we got. Astrobot, number 1. Elden Tree, number 2, but it's tied. Metaphor ReFantazio, tied. All those are tied for number 1. Final Fantasy Rebirth is 4. 5, Slay the Princess, the pristine cut. I played that. I liked it. I didn't lose my shit over it. 6, UFO 50. 7, Animal Well. I got bored of that. 8, Satisfactory looked incredibly boring. But people love it. It's like this strategy, some such factory thing. Balatro 9, 10, Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, 11, thank goodness you're here. 12, Tekken 8, 13, Destiny 2, 14, Tsukimi, A Piece of Blue Glass Moon, stupid. 15, Horizon Forbidden West, Complete Edition, and 16, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Okay, all right. By the way, another reason to sort of enjoy watching the Game Awards, but also think it's pretty stupid, is the today they released the list of user-voted games. This is the category Player's Choice. So basically, it's 100% fan-voted, 3 rounds. The first round had tons. The second round brought us to this, and then you're going to get to vote to hear the winner. None of these games deserve Game of the Year, probably. Right? Certainly Black Myth Wukong is excellent, but a Game of the Year contender? I don't think so. Genshin Impact? Go fuck yourself. Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree? Elden Ring's favorite game of all time, but I haven't played it. I can't speak to it. Wuthering Waves and Zenless Zone Zero, just a bunch of fucking gotcha bullshit. Let me explain this to you. This is why popularity contests are stupid. There's not much difference between this and the normal Game Awards, by the way. This is just what, a bunch of gamers got together and said, oh, let's vote for Zenless Zone Zero, boys. Rush to the internet and make our voices heard. First we die on the hill with grums, and then we come back to life and die on this hill. We will protect the Zenless Zone ladies from the... is all I will tell you. So I think it's stupid, but there's your top 5. Why so many gacha games? Because they are incredibly popular, and people will vote on them even without actually playing any of these, because it's like, that's our game. It's stupid. Yeah, popularity does not equal good in the fan vote show, says Tear. Tear. T-E-A-R. Tear. I don't know how to spell it. Which one is which? I don't know. Tear. T-E-A-R. I cried tears of joy. T-E-E-R? Fuck you, Jaffe. Point is, player's voice. There you go. That's what you can vote on. That's as good as it gets. Listen to this. Beyond Good and Evil. Think about this. Beyond Good and Evil, Michael Ansel. Now, Ansel's the guy who did Rayman. He's also the guy who did the first Beyond Good and Evil. He did the King Kong game, and then he was working on Wild. He was working on BGE, and then they let him go. They said, you're a toxic fella, and they kicked him out of the company. He's been brought back to do a little consulting on the new Rayman, but he did drop some data saying, hey, man, this is what's going on with Beyond Good and Evil 2's development. Here are some of his choice quotes. He says... Troubled development caused the issues with the delay due to passionate managers not getting along, he said. Passion is a, quote, fabulous energy. This is all coming from Eurogamer, but can also lead to clashes. For Beyond Good and Evil 2, he stated how the game's art director wanted to redo everything over and over. The game's director had wanted a game of generated dungeons, while he, meaning Ansel, dreamed of a space adventure. So I guess they couldn't agree. The trio were unable to agree on a direction, with the development team left not knowing who was ultimately in charge. Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot even visited the Montpellier studio, Ansel said, but it wasn't enough. And the game director continued in his stubbornness, said Ansel. When I read in the paper that I was the one who was directing the game and asking for changes, I thought I was choking, he said. It's a game in which I think I have never even questioned a decision. In the end, it's all a matter of passionate managers who have not gotten along. I believe that for some time now, these people have been let go and the project has found a certain balance with new leaders. What I'll tell you is, this is exactly why we had the structure we had in Sony Santa Monica. There was a producer who made all the final decisions when it came to production, management people, and there was the game director who made all the final decisions when it came to creative. And every now and then those people, if they couldn't agree, they'd go to the studio head. But the producer and the creative director were equal hierarchy. This idea that you've got 3 people and they're all creatives and it sounds like they're all creative alphas and none of them are agreeing. Who is producing this is what I want to know. Who didn't step in and say, fellas, you can't make a video game this way. The buck's got to stop somewhere creatively and the buck's got to stop somewhere at a production level. So I don't know what the fuck they were on there. He said there was no big single villain. But multiple concerns left unresolved with managers. He says, I have my share of responsibility. I should have defended the project better and been more present and more conciliatory with these employees, he concluded. whatever. Apparently, according to the report that was done on the studio's culture, his management of the project resulted in constant changes and fluctuations in scope, leading to an unusual amount of staff exhaustion, depression, and burnout. What I will say that is challenging about making video games is it's one of those things where everybody thinks they know better. And it's not that everybody's ideas are shit and the game directors or the producer or whoever's in charge's ideas are right. It's just that there has to be somebody guiding the fucking ship. And if you don't believe in that vision, that's fine. You probably don't want to stick around for the 3-year slog or more it's going to take to create the goddamn thing. But fundamentally, one of the things I hate the most about game development when you have big teams is having to put up with everybody thinking they know better. There was a artist on Twisted Metal 2012, and we did not get along. He was a fucking artist, and he thought he knew better about design than me, better than Scott, and all he ever did was jockey to get in a position that he wanted his ideas on display. And I'm like, dude, you don't get to do that. You're not directing the game. Scott and I are co-directing the game. If you want to be a game designer, that's excellent. You may have the chops for it. You may have the talent for it, but you're not going to do it right now in this game right here. And it was, I think he eventually left before the game shipped, but it was just like, dude, not everybody gets to sit in the captain's chair every time. It's a really hard seat to get, and the people who get in it are not going to give it up just because you want to sit in it too. No, it was not the races in Twisted Metal. That's a different thing. That was trust me, I don't know. That was not run by me, and I saw it, and I was like, what the fuck? And by the time I saw it, it was too late, and it would have really done a big number on the network team. And I'm like, you know what, man? I mean, that was the beginning of the end for me in that group. I'm like, you don't just fucking put races in a game I'm co-directing because you wanted to put them in, and you just tried to sneak them fucking in. They were terrible. It was the weakest part of that game, other than the fact it didn't run, Who the fuck ever wanted races in that game? I mean, maybe you could build a game around races and car combat. People have done it. But my God, fucking just throw them in. What are you doing? Listen to this. GTA is reporting today talking about a lot of game studios are waiting to say when they're going to release their video games in 2025 until they actually get a lock date with Rockstar, because they don't want to go up against this like even in a month, right? I get it. But in that same reporting, this is little Jason Schreier. He says Rockstar is asking its writers to be less crude towards transgender people and other minorities, the common targets of throwaway gags in previous versions. Now, I want to ask you guys this because I am a fan of GTA. I've played every single one of them. I've never finished a GTA in my whole goddamn life, but I like them, but they don't, they didn't change my life like a lot of people. So you're going to know more about this series than I am. But one of the things that always comes up when any of these kind of conversations about, because today the internet was abuzz with, Grand Theft Auto is woke. It's woke. It's woke. I'm like, really? What are people talking about? And apparently it was this. It was the fact that, they want to make it less crude. Okay. And then what you'll get is people inevitably saying, it's always just been a satire. They punch everyone. They're always satirical towards everyone. And that's kind of the mode of thinking most people have. It's kind of just that is the narrative, right? But then I went looking. I'm like, okay, well, what has GTA satirized? Because people say, it doesn't just go after minorities or trans folks or black folks or whatever. They go after everybody. And I'm like, okay, well, let me Google this and see. And I'm just kind of like going, I mean, they kind of don't. I'm not saying they don't like, look, here's our version of Fox News, or, here's our version of MSNBC, or, here's our version of, Americans love their guns or whatever. Sure. But they don't go after, I don't think, do they? That's what I'm saying. Educate me on this. Do they go after the Christian religion? Do they go after white men? Do they go after, what do they go after that's not prostitutes or trans people or, and again, I'm not saying they do. I'm asking because when I Googled it and looked it up, I really just couldn't find a lot of examples. Like this one guy's like, well, here's an example. He says, in 5, Michael managed to make a movie with the help of his friend, a very famous producer, Solomon Richards. His son, Jimmy, picked him up in a limo on their way to the gala premiere. Upon celebrating his father's success in the movie, Jimmy said this, "Woohoo, my dad's a movie producer, which makes me a movie producer's kid. I'm going to ride out the next 2 recessions without ever having to work, and I'm going to get a sports car and a drug habit before appearing on a reality rehab show, and then I'm going to tell my story and become really judgmental." And it's like, okay, that's like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, but that's not really satire. And what are you really poking fun at? You know, I'm not entirely sure. Well, yeah, Kevin says, I always thought GTA was like South Park. They exaggerated, satirize everything. And that's my question. What are they satirizing? And what do you look up and go, if they're not minorities in the game? Okay, so Wayne B says, bro, there are jokes on that in-game radio station mocking religion all the time. There may be. That's what I'm asking you. Yeah, they're satirizing Nepo kids. I mean, that's a pretty easy target, right? I mean, but you know, let me look up. Okay, so GTA radio station satire religion. I don't remember. Okay, so they're satirizing the Church of Scientology, maybe. It's possible that the protagonist, Carl, is a Christian. In the mission First Date, Carl tells Catalina he's a God-fearing man. Is that what you mean? A Christian religious radio station. What if there was a Christian religious radio station in future GTA games? Well, it sounds like there already is, unless this is a really old... this is from 7 years ago, which they haven't made a new one. Listen to Fernando radio station. Okay, well, what is it? GTA. Not bad or offensive stuff. I don't know about the Haitian thing. Trevor Phillips is white trash. Okay, it's a radio station. It plays soft pop, power ballads, and soft rock. Matthew says people are grasping at straws. I mean, I can't really say I know, because I don't. It does feel like people are using that as an excuse to allow them to basically satirize what they want, because people are upset that sounds like the powers that be at Rockstar have said you cannot satirize marginalized minority communities, at least not in the way that you have. You can't punch down. And people are upset, and when you call them on it, they say, well, they satirize everything. Everybody gets punched in that game. And so I'm just asking, is it really true, or do you think that that's just sort of a, it's a way of saying, don't take away our toys, we want to punch at these people? Or is it like, no, Jaffe, that's what it is. Everyone's covered, but I don't know. Atar says GTA 5 Trevor's story arc is basically a mockery of the South and white trash. What did San Andreas farmers were white, honky, inbred dorks? There's just one white people pun. They went after white, so they go after the white trash. Okay. GTA. I don't know. 6 will be my first GTA if I play it, says that guy. I mean, I'll play it. I mean, very, very curious about it. And I think most people will give it a shot. Fox News hated San Andreas because it was gang culture stuff. Trust me, they cover everyone. Nico had a gay friend in GTA 4. Well, what were they satirizing, though? They made fun of the FBI and CIA for being terrible, says Everett, at their job as well. Okay. All right. So what do you... Okay, let me ask you this then. What do you think about this? Do you think if the game, like, where's the line for you with Grand Theft Auto? If they decide to start making fun of a bunch of left sacred cows, if they start making fun of the George Floyd protest, and, they have missions where you can go out, and if you're a cop, they have underground kind of cop groups that if you shoot people of certain ethnicities, you get bonuses, because, hey, we're satirizing the fact that there's a lot of people that think cops are fundamentally, if they are not racist, they allow racist behavior to exist within the police department. Is that acceptable? I'm not saying it is or isn't. I'm asking you, like, is there a line for you, or you want it to be basically like, let me simulate whatever awful shit that I want to do, and it's just a video game, and leave me the fuck alone. I'm asking. I remember when Elon says he's never played GTA because he can't shoot a virtual cop, meaning he doesn't want to do it. He could do it in the game, but he doesn't want to actually do it. Okay. Emmett says, I'm not sure there should be any line. Tisco says, if they make fun of gooning, I don't know what that is, they won't touch Black Lives Matter. But what if they did, though? Would that bother you? Courtney says they won't touch Black Lives Matter. What if they did? I don't want the main character, says Da Vinci, to think woke makes sense. I'd prefer the main character not like woke people. Okay, so you would be okay then if the main character could go out and drive their car through a protest of people with really over-the-top woke signs. That would be acceptable, correct? I mean, anything's acceptable. It's art, it's a game, it's America. They have it's not America where they're making it, but they're publishing it. They have First Amendment protection. No, I don't know what gooning is. I don't. Could you explain it to me? I'm 53 years old. I have things to do. So far, they haven't gone that far, says Steven. It is a line where it's not funny. Well, I mean, maybe. It's not turning into a Jaffe stream. I'm actually asking. I'm not taking a side here. You guys know my political take on things. But I'm just wondering more about you guys as fans of this series. Do you think there is a line? Or do you think even better it should be like, what if you got to sort of I'm not saying they're going to do this, and I'm not even saying they should, but what if they said, going at the beginning, are you left, right, this, that, the other, and the game just kind of magically, they could do it, but they're not going to do it. Let you pick on the targets you wanted to pick on. Would that be acceptable? Da Vinci said, it'd be easy satire for a conversation if the main character isn't woke. I'm not thinking about gameplay like that, though. Okay. Calpy says there should be no line. Okay. All right. Fair. So far, all wrong answers. I got you after the stream in DMs. Okay. Well, in terms of what gooning is, okay. The only thing that would bother me in the game is if they harm kids. Well, why though, Lotus? But otherwise, I don't care. I'm not someone who's going to play the game regardless. Okay. But why not? Why not go into, how about a school shooting? What, could you go into a high school or a grammar school with a gun? Would that be acceptable? I don't mean in real life. I'm not a moron. Of course, that would be tragic, and it is always tragic. But if it was in the game, like what if they were, is it not that you want it in the game, but you want to satirize it, right? So let's say there is a school shooting, and they're satirizing the cops down in Florida that didn't go in, or Texas, wherever it was, Uvalde. And you're the one cop that will go in, but it makes it a lot harder. So everybody else is just outside cowering, and you actually sneak in, and that's the mission. But you still would see dead bodies everywhere. Would that be okay? Yeah, I know you can't right now, RPG. I'm just trying to figure out where the line is for people. Because when people are saying it's woke and they're upset about that on the internet, I'm just trying to figure out where they're coming down on. Is anything that they do? You know what I'm asking? Yeah, I get that you can't do it right now. I think kids would be too far for most people, but I wouldn't personally be against it. Okay. If the game has presidential elections and any player can run, that's a cool idea though. Actually, Da Vinci's, I like that. But what about assassination of presidents? What if they satirize the Trump thing where he was attempted twice to be assassinated? Is that okay? Can you play with that? I would be very curious about that. I mean, again, I'm Elon can't play it, but Cyberpunk, which lets you beat cops. I mean, I don't know. That would be maybe a little too far, says Matthew, but I think it's their right. Sure, it's their right. I'm just wondering, for you guys as gamers who play this series, where do you they want big beefcakes in GTA 6. They pray at the altar of a man. If all female characters say is I, it's too woke for me, says RPG. Jesus Christ. All right. Well, anyway, I guess the answer is some of you guys have a line, some of you guys don't. Artistically, I don't think there should be a line if that's what they want to do, but obviously Sony wouldn't publish it, but somebody would. Even if they publish it themselves on the internet. Cameron says GTA is more of a parody of American media like Goodfellas. I think a lot of people, you will find, if you took a poll of people, a lot of gamers seem to have very different ideas of what GTA is parroting, basically. Zen Arc says Trump is in office now. Not a good idea. It seems like the best time to do it. If you're going to satirize a president, why wouldn't you satirize the sitting president? Wouldn't that be the real satire? Yeah, I agree. Let them go after whoever they want. You're saying let them go after BLM, Everett. Yeah, let them go after BLM if they want. Let them go after January 6 people. You know, I mean, hell, I mean, it's weird because on one hand, you want it to be a real sandbox where you can simulate whatever you want. So if it's like, okay, you can either play a cop at January 6th and you're trying to stop them, or you can play someone trying to get into Nancy Pelosi's office. You know, but at the same time, it kind of ends up taking away the artistic vision if it's just like, hey, do what you want, right? So I don't know. They can go after BLM if there's a valid take. I don't think there has to be a valid take, Kevin. I think there are people who just don't like what they stand for or think that they are a corrupt organization, and fuck, put them in. GTA leaks they're going after Trump supporters and January 6 people, Jaffe. It's going to be good. I haven't seen those leaks. But I do agree. The only thing that we really seem, like JD says, they seem to be focusing on parroting influencers and social media. Yeah. Courtney says, what's your opinion on a big booty Latina main character, Jaffe? Yay or nay? Personally, I think it's kind of interesting. Any booty related game mechanics you can think of? Well, I mean, again, I think at some point you have to look at your budget and say, is this an art piece? Is this a personal expression of the creators, or is this a product? And if it's a product, I think honestly they should just go with the character creator. I think, you know, you can be whoever you want. You know, if it's a love story or a Bonnie and Clyde story, but maybe it's two women, it's two men, it's a man and a woman, it's interracial, it's a whatever the fuck you want to make it. Obviously you're going to lose the artistic vision, but you know, you're making, you know, a game for $600 million at this point. I think they've well moved beyond the fact that this is someone's personal vision and it is a product and nothing else. Yeah, Tech Protect says big booty should equal reduced fall damage. There you go. Okay. She better have a butt attack like Naomi in WWE. Okay. Derek says GTA has always poked fun at more harmless things. Nothing like what you were saying. I don't think most people would be okay with BLM or school shootings, says Derek. Right, but that's why I started off saying, where's the line? Because the reporting today from Schreier says that they are going to, or they've told their people to take it easy on minority groups and folks like trans folks. So, because they've done that in the past. So does that become woke? But telling them don't do BLM or school shootings is not woke? I mean, at some point, don't you have to just own all of it and say we're basically being told not to go too far, which every game is always told that's being funded. I'm just asking. You guys know how I feel. This is not the Jaffe stream. I'm not going to share it with you. It's not important, but here's what is important. This is super important. Someone leaked the POV of the Donkey Kong ride, and we're going to go on it together. This is the Donkey Kong ride over at Universal Japan. It's going to take us a minute and a half to take this journey. What's cool about this, if you care about roller coasters, is it's the I think it's one of the first coasters that lets you. It simulates jumping off the track, like in all of the classic Donkey Kong games and Indiana Jones when it jumps and all that shit, right? Obviously, it doesn't really fly off the track. It flies off the track, but there's a big. It looks like this. This is the ride mechanism, and then there's like a big pole that you never see because it's under you. So it kind of goes like this, you know, and the pole stays attached. But I'm loving Indiana Jones Apex. It's fucking awesome. Okay. Jaffe spreading joy like he believes in Jesus. Hey, I'm sure Jesus walked. I'm sure he was a real fella. I got no beef with Jesus. Although I did see a meme the other day that I'm sure is very old, but it said, I don't think people should give Jesus all this credit for dying for our sins because he came back 3 days later. It's like he basically just took a weekend off. And I was like, yeah, that's actually kind of a good point. Never thought about that. All right. But I'm not mocking the Jesus. Come on now. I got nothing against the I think, look, hang on. I think I think Jesus, like I've said before, if Jesus is real, I think he'd like me. He'd go, you're a funny dude. I like your show. I'm like, thanks, Jesus. I appreciate that, buddy. He's like, Jaffe, on the beach. That was my footprints. Oh, I know. He sent the helicopter, too. All right. Here we go. This is the Donkey Kong ride. Let's go on a Donkey Kong ride. Universal leaked footage from Universal Japan. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Now, this is, you come to the top and they launch you out of a barrel. That's what we're seeing here. That's pretty uneventful. There's a jump. It doesn't have 3D glasses like the Mario Kart ride with the AR. Well, where's the better footage, PK? This is POV. I mean, I've seen shots of it from not the rider's point of view, but, who wants that? Yeah, it just looks okay. Doesn't look amazing. There used to be, you guys remember when YouTube did the 360 stuff where you could do video, but you could rotate your mouse to look left and right? I mean, is it first look, Hey,
Explorers, I'm giving you a sneak peek at the new Donkey Kong Country.
I don't think he's riding it. He's just doing the,
Japan.
Yeah, that's not the ride. Yeah, if you got it, let me know where to see it. But I've been looking for it all day, and so far all I've seen is this footage right here. Is this one any better? Let's see. It's kind of, let's see. This is like a short. I can't rotate my thing, buddy. Kind of fucked. You got to watch it like this. Yeah, that's the thing we just saw. So, yeah, I don't know. How about this one? This is 5 days ago, maybe? No, it's all the same. I'm a VGC review. Okay, let's go to VGC review and see if they'll give us a ride. VGC game. Donkey Kong. All right, Donkey Kong Japanese. They did a review. I saw this, but I don't.
Chance to be one of
I don't know if it was POV.
It does
was
feel
it?
like pro item, like when
so
some of the weaknesses kind of interpret.
Yeah, there's not
strong there, but
on
Peaches or Bowser's cut.
Yeah, Wrath is Indie is the shit. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but if anybody finds it, send me a link or tell me what to search. 99% of Nintendo games are too easy to be fun, besides the one secret level you unlock at the end, says Ryan. There was a roller coaster VR ride, but other cool things, just not enough. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. It's at least you got a bit of a sneak peek. But I would love to actually see, because you know how they do with all these roller coasters and shit. They ultimately reveal wonderful, 4K beautiful images of these rides. So you can pretty much ride anything now on your computer. Of course, it's not the same, but you don't have to fucking wait in line, right? This is a game that's out today. I played the demo of this, and I thought it was the best demo I played all year. It's called Among Ashes. I will be buying it. I will be playing it. I didn't want to say much about it because I didn't want to spoil it, but now that they've basically put this out, and it's not that it spoils it, but I didn't want to tell you anything about it because it's really mindfuckery. There's not really any reviews except one that's really positive that I could find. But here you go. This is the trailer for what's called Among Ashes. It comes out today, and I highly recommend checking it out, or at least checking the stream. It is not a PT clone. You're about to see what it is, at least as far as I can tell. Let me go. It's an indie game. Don't lose your shit. Don't get upset. It's here you go.
Have you heard of that game?
say it's haunted. They say that when you play it, strange things start happening around you. They say if you start playing, you have to keep going until the end. And if you don't... whatever you do, just keep playing.
Okay, there you go. That's your trailer, right? It's out today. The demo is great. It's actually, I think it's on PS5 too. So if you are... Here's another one. What's this one? This one's... Let me see if this one's any different. Hang on. All this is in game, by the way, what you're seeing. So it's part of it is
everyone in Outsmith knows
multiple
about Stoker
interfaces,
Manor.
multiple
Children
scenarios.
say it's haunted. People hear strange noises coming from it all the time.
So it's kind of there's a very meta aspect to it.
Was that?
There's something wrong with this place.
All right, so this is out today, and again, it is, it is on PS5 and it's on this. I may take a break from indie just to play this if I play it tonight, but the demo is really good. It's really strange. It's really interesting. So consider, giving it some of your attention, see if it's good or not. Okay. Fortnite. I know a lot of you guys don't like Fortnite, but I was talking to Calvin, my son, today, and he's like, man, Fortnite, when is Fortnite ever going to go away? They seem to always be relevant, basically. And Fortnite's pretty much like a theme park at this point. They just keep adding rides, basically. This is Ballistic. Ballistic is their new game that comes out on the 11th of this month, a couple days from now. And it is a first-person 5v5 tactical. It's kind of their take on Valorant, and it's their take on Counter-Strike, right? So you get money, you get items at the beginning, you can cash out and buy things during the matches. There are 5 different kind of grenade things that do different things, impulse, see-through walls, all this shit. And you can only have one of them. Your teammates get the other 4. So what you have is what you have. And so you're the guy with the impulse grenade. That guy's the guy with the grenade that pops people back or whatever. And, I don't know. I have no idea how good it's going to be, but I'm sure, it's epic. They're coming out early access. They are coming out on this, the 11th. So, I will be playing it. I will be streaming it. But again, I think it's really cool that Fortnite's just like, hey man, we're not stopping. We're doing racing like they did. They announced a brand new social Lego space today, which looks cool. They have Lego Minecraft, basically. They have no build. They have build deathmatch, and now they have this, which is no build. So there's no reason to think they just won't keep going. I'm very interested to see how much of this kind of thing ends up being like, if you remember, they partnered with Disney for like a $2 billion metaverse environment that they're working on. I wonder how much of this is going to fold into that, or basically be a reskin of that, or what have you. So it's cool stuff. It's cool stuff, and this will be out, and I will be playing it on the stream. They got a bubble shield, which obviously does what it sounds like. Prox mine, recon grenade that marks anyone who gets hit with it through walls, a frag grenade, and an impulse grenade. And all of these, like I said, if we're 5v5 and 3 of you guys have got these, I can only pick this one or that one. So there's a real tactical aspect there, as well as the leveling up from the, with weapons and stuff based on money like Counter-Strike. So we'll see. Okay. Let's move forward. I just wanted to mention this. This is from Doga. It's on YouTube. I've been asked this, and I just wanted to be clear on it. Talking about Sony, he says, I don't like that Sony has started to prefer third-person games, which is why Resistance and Killzone franchises are dead. Is it really impossible to add the ability to choose a location of the damn camera as Red Dead or GTA 5 did? So what I wanted to say two things on that. What I just thought I would share is sort of an inside baseball story, at least at the time. Now, things may have changed, but there was a time where if you wanted a green light, one of the key executives that you needed the green light from, he didn't like first-person games. He only liked third-person games. So inevitably, everybody would make their games and go, oh, it's third-person, right? Because they knew if you stepped off that path, your chances of getting a green light was really, really at risk, right? So that's one of the reasons you don't, at least the last generation, you haven't seen a lot of first-person games. As for the ability to move the camera back and forth, the last time I was working in games 6 years ago, because we talked about that, we spent a lot of time deciding if Drawn to Death was going to be first person, third person. And it came up, like, why don't we just let the player choose? And it affects so many things. Like, yes, you can do it, but there's a reason Call of Duty feels so good, because most of what they've spent their time on is first person. And yeah, you can go to a third person in a mode and stuff like that, but there really is a specialty to whatever camera you have. And not just in terms of the way the game feels and plays, in terms of just little things like in Drawn to Death, I'm going to explain this poorly, but if you have a character and the camera's over the character's shoulder, you actually have to cheat where you're shooting, because if you actually put the projectile going in the direction of where the gun is, it's not actually going to go where you think it's going to go, right? Because you have a little bit of an offset depending on where the character is moving and running and turning. And it's not like a first-person shooter where you fire something and it just shoots straight, right? So there's a real mastery to what camera you're using and making the game feel better. It doesn't mean you can't do first and third, and people have done it, but a lot of it is... if you're making a competitive shooter, you probably do want to pick a lane for most people. But regardless, though, why Sony has done it, at least for the longest time, is because of not the only reason, but one of these executives was just kind of like, no, I don't like anything but third person. And maybe they were right. You can sell the character, you can brand it better. When Resistance is not branded. You got the enemies, even Killzone, which this guy mentions is not branded. You've got the enemies, but you can watch the cutscenes. But in Indiana Jones, which is first person, which I love, but you already know what Indy looks like. But if you're doing a new series or something, it's probably smarter business to go third person if you can't. Excuse me, I ate something. It's giving me heartburn. Jaffe, can you do a reaction over the new Covenant game? Covenant. Penitent Man. Covenant game? Sure. Maybe. What is it? There's a movie called Covenant. Game? Is it a trailer? Covenant trailer one day ago. Is this brutal first person? Yeah, let's watch it real quick. Here we go. Here we go.
You seek the old notes. What a fool you are.
You're a fool, idiot.
Like fowl to feed. Your kind seeks death.
Something is coming. Something greater. What have you done that?
Then it was like from developers behind Fast and the Furious Crossroads. I would be happy. Fuck you.
Hell yawns before you. I saw you fall like lightning from heaven. The way forth is long and dark. You must be most brave. 10,000 swords stand before you.
Then 20,000 knees shall kneel. time is nigh. What wilt thou do? The axe comes to fell the tree. Cut it all down. Adversity become your fetish. Hardship your home. The hero of old. The man of renown. You to change it all. Remember me with favor for all I have done. Tell the old man to send another flock.
I mean, I think that's awesome. When is this coming out? Do we have a demo soon? What the fuck is this? I don't agree. This looks like a game that's fun for 5 minutes and you move on. I mean, not if it is basically Souls. I mean, if it's a Souls shooter, and I know they're not the first person to do a first person shooter Souls game, but if it is basically that, and it's, you know, all the combat doesn't, for them other than the spiders, the combat doesn't just look like bullet hell. It looks like you know, you're having to learn patterns and you're having to learn how to, you know, avoid and dodge and when to take the shots and where their weak points are. I think it looks pretty cool, actually. It may not be that, but that's kind of what it looks like. Signal says, I'm tired of trailers like this that have a bunch of gibberish voiceover that means nothing. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. I mean, yeah, and we're going to probably see a lot of that on the Game Awards this week, because so many most of the trailers are just terrible, just terribly done. It basically is a bunch of poorly written gibberish that's meant to sound cinematic and ominous and important, and it's like, this isn't connecting with me on any kind of intellectual or emotional level at all. Ravenu says, I do not see Souls at all. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying that it's being described right here, FPS Souls-like game 2025. So my mind is sort of filling in some of the blanks and assuming that your enemies aren't just going to be like, you know, fodder enemies, but they're going to be things you have to think through and read their attacks and figure out when to dodge and then go from a weapon like, you know, an assault rifle to then quickly switching to a shotgun when they race in and you dodge and you get them from behind before they rotate around, right? I mean, I think that could be cool. But, you know, I'm interested. I'd never heard of this. I'll keep an eye out, and I'm very curious when it's what they're going to say about it. Like, if we're going to hear about this soon. At the Game Awards. This is from there's a new channel over on the Discord where Cult Calypso members and above can send in videos and ask questions. This is a question that came across from this very beautiful woman today. I wanted to play that, and then I do want to talk about some more video games. But let's give this a play real quick.
Hello, Jaffe,
Hello.
and all the people in the Gabbin and Games community. That includes you Diet Soda members and Cult of Calypsos. I will no talk about the God of War members, because they are above us all, and we all love them for it. You do not do enough for them, Jaffe. My question is this. You have a legion of people who love you. You call them Diet Soda members, Cult of Calypso and God of War members. There are also subscribers and fans. But then, Jaffe, there are trolls, the fucking ingrates that do not deserve your time. Why do you care? Hello.
Okay, so let's speak to her. First, I do want to address Ryan in the chat. He says, I feel like as a paid member, Jaffe reads my messages less than ever. Once he got my ducats, I became invisible to him. Yeah. No, you moron. That's not true. It's just you got to catch me when I'm... The best time, if you really want me to see your question, here's the trick I have found, is know when I'm coming to the end of a story and I'm starting to look to the chat for y'all's feedback on what I was just talking about. But if you put something in as I'm starting a new story, and there's the delays, so you got to kind of play with it, I'm probably going to be laser focused, or at least try to be, on communicating the new content, right? That's number one. And number two, it's got to be something interesting. Let's like go back to what you wrote. Your last comment was 9 souls? ? What am I supposed to do with that? We were watching a first-person, violent, aggressive shooter video, and you suddenly bring up a game, and if you don't know 9 Souls, which is currently on Game Pass, and it's got great reviews. I haven't played it yet. It's kind of like Hollow Knight. I think it's one of Shu's favorite games of the year, Shuhei's. I haven't played it, but I hear it's really, really good. But it's got nothing to do with what we were just watching. So your comment that I chose to ignore was simply 2 words. 9 Souls? What do I do with that? What do I do with that? That is my question to you, good sir Ryan. So help me out, man. All right. I don't know, you guys are hating on Unreal. Unreal's fucking awesome. Unreal's great. Buddy, you were reading comments not directed at you. So how am I supposed to know then? Put at David Jaffe if you want me to see something. And if I see it, I mean, I'm not, trust me, it's not personal. It's not personal. However, I am thinking of getting some help in the future of someone who could be watching the chat and going, hey, Jaffe, don't miss out on this, man. Oh, there's a modern Painkiller coming. Cool. But Painkiller, though, is much more, it's not Serious Sam, but it's closer to Serious Sam than Souls. Yeah. 2D Man says people are hating on Unreal now. Yeah. I mean, I got nothing but love for Unreal. I got nothing but love from off-the-shelf engines. It has made video gaming so much better. I don't see bad performance. Jaffe, look at all the Unreal 5 games and all their shitty performance. Like what? Give me an example. I mean, again, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I mean, what game maybe I missed? I don't know what you're talking about. But to answer, hello, Cantankers. Thank you, Bukaki. When I want Jaffe's attention, I write Jaffe in my comment. Right. But anyway, to Joe's point, to the Devil Lady's point, it's honestly, Joe, the issue is this, the Discord, and that's one of the reasons I'm doing the Game Awards in the Discord, because I understand that paid members, I do my best. Like last time, we've done a couple of lunches with Jaffe. We did a pot and popcorn 2 weeks ago. We're going to do the members only watch show coming up. I really want members to feel they get great value at any tier, even to the point that all the God of War members who I shout out on most live shows, I'm always like, hey man, if there's something you want me to read or there's something you want to plug or whatever, let me know. you get 20 seconds. I'll say whatever you want as long as it doesn't break terms of service and such. But regardless of the point is though, I do have to look out for the health of the show. And just talking to members because they're members in the live show doesn't really necessarily always demand a good show or result in a good show. Sometimes it's the troll that writes in or is in the chat being a dick, and I can do something with that material. So if you want, more of a personal connection conversation, that's usually over in the Discord. But you can't get into those Discord rooms unless you are a member. So hopefully it balances out is what I would say. You're saying that Immortals of Avium ran like shit. Okay, that's fair, P. Dudley. I didn't play it. I have it, but I haven't played it. But I have enjoyed it. I think games look amazing. I think if you look at Black Myth Wukong, which is Unreal 5, it looks fucking astounding. I'm trying to think what else. Who the fuck is not aware of Unreal 5 issues, says Ravenos. I'm not aware. But I mean, I don't, if the game runs, great. If it doesn't, I have a problem. But so far, everything I'm playing runs. What's the problem? All right, let me, but that's why, Jojo D. Hit the like button, says Wallace. Subscribe, like, share, be a member. Come on, you sons of bitches. Listen to this. E-Day is here. What's E-Day want? What's up, buddy? It's Jaffe. E-Day, it's Jaffe. You want to talk? If not, no worries, but I'll keep you in the room until you're ready to talk. Otherwise, be well. Okay, in the meantime. Oh, Wukong. I can. 1 second. P. Dudley says Wukong runs like shit on PlayStation. Oh, well, that might be a PlayStation problem because I don't play it on PlayStation. In Jedi Fallen Order. Okay, so maybe what it is, you're saying Jedi Fallen Order runs like terrible shit. Indiana Jones looks incredible. So what I would say is most games I'm playing off PC. So yeah, if you're saying if most of what you play on is console and you see a lot of problems, then yeah, I can understand not liking it. But I try to play on PC and stream it as often as I can. Okay, what's up, E-Day?
So I wanted to come and defend UE5 a bit for what people are complaining about.
Okay.
Because I've seen a lot of people look at Indiana Jones and talk, oh, how great, how awesome it's optimized. And that is true, it is awesome. It's running like flawlessly 60 on my Series X. But at the same time, you also have to think for a lot of the chat that this is a studio that's basically the sister studio of id Tech. You have a lot of these third-party studios that aren't as technically advanced and aren't like a sister studio to Epic Games. So you're going to see a lot of these technical issues that if it was Epic Games themselves or some sister studio that they had that was really closely linked, they wouldn't be having all these technical problems or not as well performance. Because look at a good example is look at Epic Games' Fortnite. Fortnite's like flawless consistently, and it runs really, really well.
Yeah.
But if you had all these third-party studios working on id Tech's engine, I would assume we'd have a lot of similar performance problems where they aren't just flawlessly optimized, and I think that's what people are missing here.
Well, this one guy, Zero Signal in the chat, says, I think most people don't notice, but Digital Foundry keeps bringing it up, so maybe that's why people seem more bothered. I mean, do you know, I understand if you're playing a game and it runs like dog shit, but are you telling me that, you know, short of a weird misfire like the launch of Cyberpunk 2077, even though I know that wasn't UE5, you're telling me that most people are playing on both consoles and they're getting games that are running at like 20 frames and going, what the fuck is this? Because that's what it sounds like.
No, I don't think that's it, but I think if you look at FSR, which is the upscaling technology, someone brought up Immortals of Avium. It looked pretty poor because they were trying to upscale from below 1080p. So there's issues like that, which that's since been fixed because FSR 3.0 came out.
Yeah.
But again, I think that's more just these studios aren't nearly as advanced. And then again, you go look at Indiana Jones. They're the sister studio of id Tech. Of course, they're going to be better performing. If you brought the Immortals of Avium team on id
How
Tech,
is Indiana Jones? I thought Indiana Jones is using their own engine called like Motor or something.
It's based off id Tech, so it's probably just a custom version, but they worked with id on that. So it is basically id Tech, but their own version that they
Gotcha.
worked with. But regardless, like if you do that for any studio, like the Forza Tech or the whatever Horizon Zero Dawn's engine is, those games run great. But if you had some random third-party studio working on it, again, I think you have a lot of the similar optimization or visual issues.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, what I will say is things like that don't really bother me if the game is good. And so to me, it's like, you know, when I go to a movie with my brother because he worked in the movie business, so, you know, and he's just always been this kind of person where the sound should be pristine and the bulb needs to be the proper bulb wattage to make sure it's not too dark, not too bright, and the focus has to be perfect and all this. And I think that's great. That means something to him. For me, it's like if the screen's too dark, I'm pissed because I can't see the movie. Other than that, if the story's good, I'm lost. If the game's good, I'm lost. But, you know, I know there are people out there that don't feel that way, but I can just tell you one thing, E-Day, I'm glad I'm not one of them because I love what we've gotten with Unreal 5. I love how great that Monkey King runs on my PC when I play it over the stream. I don't know. Do you know if Stalker is Unreal 4 or 5 or it's their own thing? Stalker 2.
Stalker's Unreal 5.
Okay, so I think that game looks excellent. I mean, it feels like I'm looking at real life in certain shots. I think Black Myth looks the same way, and you know what? I just think it's fucking delightful. So, but I hear you, and if you're not one of those people, you know, maybe Unreal 6 will take care of them. All right, buddy, thank you for the call. I appreciate it, man.
No problem.
I'll see you later. There goes E-Day. What Watching Jaffe stream, says Ravnos, games run like shit on GeForce. I wish I could show you that they don't. I agree with you, by the way, that when you watch my streams, you are not seeing what I'm seeing. And some people are saying that's because YouTube throttles the image. I mean, I have my bit rate up as high as Spasbo recommended. I have great internet upload download speeds. I'm seeing on my screen a beautiful fucking image, and then people are saying, that's really hard to watch or bad to watch or whatever. And I'm just kind of like, really? It looks beautiful over here. Jaffe doesn't notice all the stuttering. No, I think I've noticed that too. When I'm playing, I was streaming, it might have been Indiana Jones. I don't remember what it was. It was something this week, and I remember looking at the footage afterwards. In fact, it was Indiana Jones because you guys were watching it, and you guys were saying, it's like, this game looks like it's running at like 20 frames a second. And I'm just kind of like, what are you talking about? This, what? And so when I looked back at it, and I'll just show it to you real quick, just a second of it. My channel, Jaffe Indie. Let's see here. This was me streaming it. One moment. And while I'm looking for it, can somebody tell me why people are saying this game is woke? The fuck are they talking about? Indiana Jones is woke? I mean, maybe it does get woke, whatever that means, but I know what it means for a lot of these folks. But what part of the game are these guys talking about? That it's a woke game? I'm very, very confused by that that accusation of this thing. But anyway, let's go to live. I just want to show you this real quick. Indiana Jones. So if you watch the beginning of it and you watch it on replay, it absolutely looks choppy. Let me show it to you. I mean, you know, and you're watching like, you know, Indy move through the jungle and stuff. Where is it like you pick something up and it's like, holy shit. It does look like it's running at 10 frames or whatever. But I'm kind of like, but it's not. And you're saying it could be a bitrate FPS downgrade to 30, but it always looks muddy and choppy, right? I mean, I don't know. Are you looking at it right now and saying it looks muddy and choppy? But there was a part where it did. You can tell when the characters are like lifting this tree or something, and it's like, what the fuck? I don't know, but I know what you mean. But I did when I'm playing it, it doesn't look, even to the point that I can look at it here where I'm playing it, and then I look over there where OBS is, and the OBS signal looks super choppy sometimes, and I'm like, but that's not what I'm seeing at all. So, okay. The Indiana Jones Metacritic score. We're not going live. I mean, we're live, but we'll just shoot the shit. Hang on. Right now, the Indiana Jones Metacritic, I think, is an 87. At least it was last I checked. Yeah, 87. It's fucking excellent. It's fucking excellent. So it's a great game. Great game. Okay. Let's see. Dragon Age Veilguard. Is it my capture card? Well, no, because I'm streaming it. I'm not even using I have a capture card, but I'm literally streaming it off of GeForce now. Dragon Age Veilguard fans that were left wanting should be excited. The series' original designer's next game got a release date. It's coming out in January. It's also coming out on Game Pass, and I've not watched this yet. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but let's watch it together.
All my life, I was dreaming about becoming a point. To do it alongside a renowned Weaver band, it's a chance to make history.
The Surgeborn. They've had us on our back foot for decades. Ever since, our people have been in crisis.
Our Weaver band is here to help. We're ready for anything, no matter what happens.
Best to assume the worst. This could mean an all-out war.
You sure she's ready for all of this?
Your reckless conduct has unleashed an enemy that nearly destroyed us 27 years ago.
Let's not lie to each other. I like you.
Can't say the feeling's mutual. I still believe in the dream of the Enclave. If it takes us to restore it, I'm up for that challenge.
I think it was cool. Yeah, it does look thematically the same as Veilguard Ambient. I agree. I don't think I'm not like, oh my fucking god. I think it looks, I'm glad it's on Game Pass. I'll give it a try. Doesn't look bad, but it just looks okay, like anything else I've seen. But it's, I know they're doing it through Square. They're working with Square, so maybe it'll be, see, Godslayer says, I don't think this game can live up to the hype. I wasn't even aware there was hype in this game. Like, I had never heard of it until last week or this week, whenever it came out. Ravno says they lost a sale for me with this. Why? Because it's on Game Pass or what? What do you mean? Ken Tanker's thanking for the super chat. He says, Jaffe, I probably missed the X-Defiant talk, but let me ask, if you held the bank card at Sony, could it compete with Call of Duty? Early reception seemed great. The real, not as it was, right? But I think the issue with that game was that its unique selling point was, hey, it's Call of Duty game modes, and it's the only one of the very few places, and certainly at this level, that you can get those game modes for free. Whereas most free-to-play games are Extraction and Battle Royale and all that. If you want to play Team Deathmatch and the kind of the meat and potato modes, you got to basically own Call of Duty at this point. And they were like, haha, no, you don't. Here's X-Defiant. But the minute Call of Duty hits Game Pass, I think most people were like, okay, the one thing that made you really unique and special has dropped away. Not for everyone, but for a lot of people. If you're going to compete with Call of Duty, I think you either have to twist it 10% to give it something that is still lets it be, very fantasy fulfillment for most people. Like, oh, I just want to be a cool soldier. Or you've just got to outproduce it. And I don't think they did either one of them, basically. I won't buy it either because it's on Game Pass. Why would I? I think it looks a lot like Veilguard in terms of the art style, or it looks a lot like Fortnite, that game we just looked at. But, okay. Hang on one second. We'll see. We'll see. There's some cool stuff, but I want to show you real quickly. I want to show you this trailer. I have been wanting to show this trailer, and something's always come up, and this isn't out till next year, and this isn't going to blow your mind in terms of you've never seen anything like it. It just looks so good. It's right up my alley. It is called Neon Inferno. It's a 3-minute trailer. Watch with me, won't you? And then let's discuss it briefly on the other side.
Welcome to Neon Inferno, a new 2D action game which takes place in a cyberpunk New York City. My name is Sri Kankanahalli, founder and designer at Zenobia Interactive, and today I'll be walking you through the game's very first stage. In Neon Inferno, you play as an assassin for a criminal organization, conducting hits against your opposition, as well as dodging the even more corrupt NYPD. Now, on its most basic level, the game is an arcade run and gun, like Contra or like Metal Slug. You run, you shoot, you jump, and you stab. What really sets the game apart is its two-plane mechanic, where the stage action takes place in both foreground and background. And I will let the scene play out further without talking to you.
But that's kind of cool, so you can choose. Okay. And take cover, and you can shoot into the background like Wild Arms. That's pretty cool. It's different. That's cool. I like that. And then you've got to deal with people in the back and the front at the same time. Oh, cool. All right. That's cool. I like that. That's neat, man.
Sometimes walking is just too slow, and you'll have to chase down your target on motorcycle. The game features many vehicle scenes which take full
Oh, that's cool.
advantage
You can
of its
change
unique
lanes.
mechanic,
Cool.
letting you ride your bike as you swerve in and out of the road lanes. You want to eliminate your opponents, but you also want to avoid harming civilians or crashing into them. Now, coming up is a dual mini-boss fight, which pits you against both the helicopter that you saw earlier in this video, as well as an armored tank on the ground. As you'll see in a second, the game also features a bullet time mechanic, which lets you
That's
use
cool,
enemy
too.
bullets
That's cool.
and bombs against them. Seems we finally tracked down our target. What happens next? You'll have to play the game to find out.
Ah, you all
Thanks for watching,
tricksy.
everyone. And you can wishlist Beyond Inferno now on Steam.
I think it looks cool, man. Yeah, Hunt Down was great. I agree. All right. But I dig that quite a bit. I've been wanting to show that, and I'm looking forward to playing it. That's supposed to be 2025, so we will see. You think the gameplay is antiquated controller sports? I mean, it certainly is an old school shooter. I don't know if I would call it antiquated only because, yeah, we've seen multiple plane combat before. I've never seen a shooter where it's multiple plane. I've seen melee games, but I haven't seen shooters like that. And I haven't seen the bullet time thing where I can kind of freeze time and relaunch bullets back at the enemy based on arc trajectory. I mean, it's not like it's so crazy you've never seen it, but it's kind of neat. I'm excited for that. But again, one of my favorite games of the year is Iron Meat, right? Which, by the way, I'll have codes this week to give away to a couple of people if they want copies for that. Yeah, PK has been trying to get me to watch. Let's just say this, PK, you are not being heard. Check out the trailer for Zeverland. I will play this and react to this on tomorrow's Gabbin' and Games, because at this point I have to wrap this up. I may be streaming later this evening if I stream the Among Ashes game that just came out today. But if not, I'll be back tomorrow morning. And I don't know if tomorrow is going to be a Jaffe stream or it's going to be gameplay. But there will be a morning stream, and then, of course, there will be... let's check. I want to make sure I'm right on this. Is tomorrow the Game Awards? I think it's tomorrow, right? Let's see. The Game Awards, December... Oh, it's the 12th. Okay, so no. Wait. Yeah, so 9, 10, 11... It's Thursday, so no. Okay, so I will be back tomorrow with a proper Gabbin' and Games, and I'll be back with a morning stream as well. I'll probably hit up the Discord and ask what you guys want tomorrow. If you want another Jaffe stream or if you want some gameplay, we'll figure something out. But anyway, there you go. Bukaki, Rob, RPG, thank you. There's my nephew, Daniel. Hello. He says that game gives him old school Contra vibes. You're goddamn right. Absolutely. Absolutely. But in the meantime, yes, fellas, thank you for watching. Members, thank you. Like the channel, like the show, hit the notification bell, like, subscribe, tell your friends, go tell Vera Dark, whatever the fuck you want to do. But I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you spending some time with me. Fuck you, Bukaki. He says we want more lists. And I'll be back. I'll see you tomorrow. Be well, maybe even tonight if I stream something. Be well, be safe, and thank you guys. Bye.